What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Kickback Committee Happy Hour. I'm Susannah Fuller, alongside a very special co-host today. We've got Coach Ian Fuller in the house, ahead of a very big week for One Knox. We'll get to that in just a bit, but it's Baby Friday, everybody. We're going to have some incredible banter with two gents who proudly represent the lovely island of Puerto Rico, which is the subject of this week's 50 States of Soccer tour. We have Zarek Valentin and Ricardo Rivera. Welcome to the Kickback Committee Happy Hour. Great to see you guys. How's everyone doing on this fine Thursday?
All good. Thank you for having us, and hope you have a good time.
More importantly, Susannah, we in the Valentin household have been following your incredible journey. We love you guys. We miss you guys. So sending big and lots of love to y'all. The Fullers, Ricky, we worked together a few years ago before Ian took his job, and I've known Susannah now for years. I met her very ugly half over there when I moved to Minnesota. But yeah, Susannah, we love you and following your journey. Sending you so much love, so much strength through all this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
But listen, Ricky's Ricky's the king. So Ricky's going to give you all the info as someone
Ricky's the king. So this is so cool because, yeah, obviously there's a lot of connections here. So Goss bailed on this happy hour, by the way. Poor buddy had a sore throat. And so I recruited this one because he was like, I want to say hi to Zarek. So they worked together when they were at Minnesota United. And then Ricky has so much experience, obviously, in USL Championship playing for Miami and Union Omaha. So there's all these, there's a lot of synergy amongst this group, and I'm very, very excited for it. And obviously, we're going to talk about Puerto Rico because we've got you two legends here. But first, before we really dive into that, we've got breaking news, guys, which kind of affects everybody in this happy hour at the moment. So MLS owners today have voted and passed that schedule change that will see them align with the European leagues and run from late summer through May. They're going to start in the summer of 2027 with a winter break in January and February. Don Garber, the commish, is giving a press conference literally as we speak right now, which is wild. But you guys are so deeply in. This is going to affect you guys hardcore because Zarek is now coaching at Minnesota. Ian's coaching. Ricky's playing. Very curious to just get your kind of thought. Is this a good move? Did you see this coming? Zarek, I'll kick it off with you. What are your initial reactions to this news?
I think it was always gonna slowly move this way in America. The only hurdle was always the northern states, right? How are you gonna play in Toronto, Montreal, Minnesota, and some of those in the winter months? I think selfishly for a lot of moments, Ricky, we'll touch on this, but I don't know how it's going to align with international breaks, but naturally that was always my initial thought in the transfer windows and stuff. But, the amount of times I would leave a camp and come back because we were short staffed in terms of players. I did it with Minnesota a few times. And I know that, for me, having to always balance between representing your country and then going to play for club soccer is a really difficult decision. And with the schedule, that was always something where players have to choose. And that's, we're going to see it this weekend. We go into playoffs. The guys are leaving this weekend. And if someone gets hurt and they come back, those things are big. So it was always probably bound to happen. Obviously, if you're living in Puerto Rico or living in Miami like Ricky is, I'm sure you don't mind it as much as someone up here in the cold.
Yeah, I think for the southern states, it's not going to be a problem. But for all those teams that play up north, that the winter will affect all the players. I think it's going to be a drastic move, but I think it would help a lot of the international players. So some of the windows, the end of November and all that, it will be a lot of help. But like Zarek said, it's always a big decision depending if it's playoffs, if we leave, if we don't leave, who's going to be happy, who's not going to be happy, if we're leaving, if we're not, if we're staying, whatever decision we're taking. But at the end of the day, I love playing for Puerto Rico, so that will always be my priority. But at the end of the day, the job is here in the club, so it's a big decision, and this move will drastically affect me and all the players.
Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see whether USL follows suit. I think this is really good for player movement between European clubs and the domestic clubs or at least in North America, to align on that schedule.
Yeah.
The majority of the transfers are done in the summer. It was always holding players back and clubs back a little bit, trying to sell in January, February. So I think aligning with the international market is going to be really beneficial for the player looking to make a move.
Especially if like there's a team that's like going on a run in the summer and they've probably been so hampered by this because the club wouldn't want them to leave if they're like gonna make a playoff push, but now it kind of frees it can become much more of a buying selling
as well as buying. We look at, like you just said, I mean, it's really important to get players at the prime of their career but if you're in the thick of things in January, if you're a club in Europe, you're not going to sell then. Yeah. And so then in June, when a lot of the teams have done their business in MLS and don't have a lot of money, you can't do business then. So
I also think the big one to touch on that point is, especially in MLS terms, if you're trying to get a player in the summer window, we're playing through it. So if the player's visa takes a long time, they might miss 3, 4, 5 games, right? So, we saw it when we tried to bring in players here in Minnesota, is there's a huge difference between getting players that play the last 10 games of the season than play the last 6 games, right? But if there's a gap in time in terms of getting those visas, they might not miss any games, right? So then you have them for, their impact can be a lot more, as opposed to you're rushing to push paperwork through. They're having to take flights to Canada to get their visas pushed through and stuff. So having those gaps, I think, really provides the clubs with the ability to not necessarily rely on. Again, you look at Son. Son came in and was playing games, and he got signed at the same time as our players. Except for sometimes you have, clubs with connections, or you might have prior, visas and stuff. So I think that it takes that variable out of it, which ultimately will make freer player movement, and then you, like you said, capitalize on the sale, whether they're going or buying. And yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm curious to see how they navigate the winter, because inevitably it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold in some of these games.
I mean, like, Minnesota is the Arctic. It's literally the Arctic in the December, January, February, even March.
Yeah. There was an international date in February they played in Minnesota. And
yeah,
I think
that was when Matt Turner got frostbite.
Yeah.
He was playing in goal.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. Less than ideal.
I remember when Montreal were still in maybe USL, they played in the Olympic Stadium when the Islanders went up there and beat them to get to the I think maybe Montreal beat the Islanders in the semifinal of the Champions League. That was way back when, but there are options.
Eddie Sabrango scored that game. I played there. Yeah, I remember that was back in 2000. I think Dos Santos was the coach at that point.
That's right.
Yeah, so they had a big game. It was one of their biggest crowds, and Eddie Sabrango scored the goal to send them to, I think, the Champions League final. Club legend, by the way. Shout out to Eddie Sabrango.
From a player's perspective, like, how is this going to be received? Is this going to be popular? Because I know there's going to be issues about, like, they've got to resolve things about, like, giving guys time off, vacation time. We've talked so much about schedule congestion lately with just the sheer amount of matches. Like, is this going to be well received from players, do you think?
I think obviously the unions are involved, right? I know the USL union has been one that's been growing, and they're getting a lot of traction in the more recent years, especially, and MLS is one. So I'm sure the unions are involved in some way, and ultimately as players we're robots, whether you like it or not. Like we don't have much say, so you got to go out there. If you want to get a paycheck, you want to earn a job, you're going to go do it. And then obviously, like as we talked about, I know Puerto Rico played Miami, or they played Argentina in Miami. And that was a window where those games were right at the end of the USL season, and guys are having to choose to stay with their clubs to make a playoff push or go play for the national team. And maybe this will alleviate some of those tensions. But again, we're players, we're robots. They go out, they complain, but what are we not going to show up? Like, they're still going to go and do their job. Or if not, Coach Fuller doesn't play them, tells them, get on the bench. So I think, for me, I just think, it'll fall into place very quick.
I think and this is a question for Ricky, not playing in Miami in August and in July, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing. The summer there is super hot. Like it's extremes in the U.S. from north to south. I think the players are gonna get in that terms of temperature is gonna be way better for us because we're not gonna play in the little of the winter. Obviously, we're gonna get some of it, but then in summer that it's the extreme temperatures we're gonna have free. So I think it would be beneficial for the players in that aspect. And in the transfer market, I played 5 years in Spain also, and that's when I came to Union Omaha. And that transfer was very difficult for me personally. I was came mid-season. I didn't know any of the players, trying to get to know a new league, a new team. It was very difficult. New weather, new place, and like I think this would help the transfer window for players to make it a little bit more easier so they can get adapted faster or easier. And I think depending on the player, there will be pros and cons on this agreement. So,
But you figure you're coming in for preseason, right? Because you're coming in the summer now, at the middle of preseason, end of preseason, beginning of it, as opposed to like you got a game next week. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you have time to get to know your teammates. You have time to get to know the system, and you can kind of blend in as opposed to just being thrown into the fire. Like, hey, we play a 4-3-3. Like, just go score some goals, Ricky.
Good luck there.
Yeah, some of those guys go on an 18-month season because they go all the way through their calendar and show up in the summer and have to continue on. So I'm sure you had that, Ricky.
Yeah, I did my whole season in Spain. Then I came here into the U.S. and like continued for another 3, 4, 5 months. So it like just extended my whole season a lot longer, and it was exhausting by the end. But that was the year we got champions, so it was a thrill.
Luckily, you're a machine. It's okay. It's no big deal.
No stopping him. It's going to be very interesting. I'm sure you guys will keep you all updated on all the latest on this. Check out the latest episodes of Soccer Wise, David Goss and Tom Bogert. Actually, Tom Bogert, I think, is the one who was on top of this story. He actually broke it. So I'm sure they will talk at length about all of this and the implications and what it all means. So keep an eye out for that. But let's get into the real reason why these lovely gents are joining us today. Our 50 States of Soccer Tour is taking us to Puerto Rico. I've never been. I've only been in the San Juan airport, which just feels wrong. It's a place that I feel like I would thrive. I feel like we need to go at some point. But both of you guys have played for the Puerto Rican national team and played big parts for it. Z, you were a captain. Ricky, 32 caps for Puerto Rico. So this is, I know very little about the soccer scope in Puerto Rico. So I'm going to lean on you guys. And Ricky, I want to start with you to just kind of like give me a sense, because I'll be honest, when I think of Puerto Rico, I think more of like baseball, like, you know, like that kind of being a bigger sport. Like, so how much is the sport of soccer embraced in Puerto Rico as opposed to other sports that we've seen?
Well, you're 100% true. Like baseball is our national sport, but soccer right now is a very popular sport and it's growing massively. I've been in the national team since I was under 15, the U15.
Oh, man. And
the difference from those days to now is like non-comparable. Like I think Zarek was one of the big moves, I would say, when they brought him in.
Big Z.
He was our captain, our MLS player, you know. But the difference of professionalism, the difference of pay, everything that we've been fighting for all these years, it's been very big. Puerto Rico doesn't have a professional league. It has a semi-professional league, and they're still working on it so that it gets federalized so that it will be a professional league in the next years. They're bringing a lot of USL players, Championship, USL 1. They're trying to like make it the primary sports like in other countries, but it still needs a little work. But a lot of the kids now are having a blast. There are a lot of players who are inscripted in the clubs, the academy teams, and the impact is, you can feel it.
Love that. Zarek, tell me about your journey to being a part of the Puerto Rican national team,
Yeah,
because I feel like
Ricky,
I know it, but not well enough.
yeah, Ricky's the king, and he's going to put this like Ricky's the federation's all-time leading goal scorer. He's been with them for 10 plus years. You know, a bunch of different a lot of caps, as you know. Has kind of seen the federation go through a lot of ebbs and flows, coaching changes, and to the point where, you know, after our game against El Salvador in 2020, when I was with Ian, I think you were there in 2024, 2023. You know, I think they saw the biggest crowd ever of 11,000 people go to a game. And Ricky is kind of spearheaded, I would say, the growth as someone who's gone abroad, done well, one of the, you know, major guys in that sense. So I think he's downplaying himself a little bit in terms of his impact, but also being an Islander is very different than being someone, myself, as like a transplant, right? I have a lot of roots, obviously. My family came from Puerto Rico. My grandma was born there, immigrated to New York. But, you know, it was always one of these things where I always had, you know, like my Puerto Rican heritage is my blood. And then it took me, you know, through a few call-ups. Wasn't necessarily the right move. Eventually, Dave Sarakin, shout out to Dave, longtime Galaxy assistant coach in San Jose now with Bruce, gave me a call and, you know, through a bunch of conversations and, you know, talking to my family. And this was during COVID. My grandmother had passed away. And then that was like, you know, I think this is the time. And I didn't know what to expect, you know, going and getting that call up, you know, being the old guy. The average age of the team was 24, 23 years old. And I was el viejito. I was the old guy on the team. But to kind of go there and to see what the club was building, see the quality of players that, you know, I would say don't get as much recognition as they probably should. I think that if you watch our national team, you realize that these guys can play at better levels. It's just they don't have the platform to do so. Mm-hmm. And then to now see that they're getting games where there's getting 12, 13,000 people selling it out. It's just been incredible. So, you know, I don't have nearly the history or I would say that the amount of caps as Ricky does, but to have been a small part of some of the success recently, to be one of the captains with Ricky and, you know, Nico and now Leandro, has been something that, you know, arguably has been one of the highlights, if not the highlight of my career.
Amazing. So Ricky, when you talk about, you know, you said like you've just seen like this crazy amount of growth and change over the years since your time in the youth programs there. So what have they been doing well to make soccer kind of, you know, more accessible for youth development? And is that a thing? I mean, is that happening now in Puerto Rico?
Yes,
are
I
they
think
trained?
the federation is a big part of that, because before the federation only was focused on the national teams and only on that aspect. But the federation now, with a new president, new vice president, and everything, they are not only concentrating in growing the national players, but they're also funding a little the league. Before it was federation organized. Now they passed it on to a group of Argentinians, but they're also investing on the clubs so that they have the utensils, the coaching staff, and everything that they need to properly train those kids. And the difference when I was there and what they have now are
Crazy.
like, we only had a couple cones, some balls, and
I
just
mean, that's all you need.
go and play and have fun. But now it's a lot more professional. Like, they're getting the correct training that they need to grow and become professionals if that's what they want. And just going back to where I started, it was San Juan FC. The difference is so much. The staff has grown so much. The field is a lot better. It makes me super happy just to know that the island is improving in that aspect, and it's gonna keep improving and get a lot more stars on the way for sure.
Oh, are we bringing in another proud Puerto Rican right now, Claudia?
Can you guys see me? What's up?
Yay, Claudia!
I just
Perfect
got off a
timing,
flight.
lady.
Yeah, you guys pushed it up, but I had to make it work. So I'm in the back of a car. So
Oh, you're the best.
My internet might go a little in and out, but I had to join. If you guys are talking about Puerto Rico, which, hi guys, I haven't met Ricky and Zarek,
We
so it's
are.
good to meet you guys.
I didn't know you were
join.
Puerto
Nice to meet you
Rican.
too.
Yeah, mommy is from Carolina and papi from Rio Piedras. I was born in Dewey, Maryland, but we go to Puerto Rico all the time.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so I
Yeah, we were
had to
just kind of
join.
talking about Ricky. Yeah, Claudia, Ricky was kind of alluding to the conversation that you and I had earlier this week, just about how it's getting bigger, and there's been more investment, which is super cool because it seems like, I mean, it feels like it would be this sort of like perfect fit soccer in Puerto Rico. Have you been?
I have. We played the Islanders quite a few times back in the day. I mean, it was the best road trip in the
I was
world.
gonna say.
Unbelievable. But we had a great time.
I'm jealous.
Oh, what a place, though.
Oh my
yeah.
God, amazing.
One of my good friends was the captain, Noah Delgado, for many years.
Everyone that's played against the Islanders have told me the exact same thing. Like, that's their favorite trip. They love going there.
Bar none. Yeah, no, there's some good players as well.
Wasn't there an NBA? Was it Carmelo Anthony?
Carmelo.
Who
I know
had like a minority stake in a club there.
Yeah, they had the Puerto Rico FC, but that got shut down once the hurricane hit. Everything just like stopped, and I don't know after that.
Shouldn't Zarek be investing now? I mean, big time MLS coach.
Maybe
It's time.
maybe if the Fullers played me more and I hit some bonuses, maybe I could have invested some.
You and Carmelo. You know?
I will say, I think the Federation's done well at kind of being introspective and pushing themselves a little bit more. And I think part of that's, I think realistically, when you have a player go to Real Madrid, right? I think we have to touch on Jeremy. I think Jeremy was this benchmark, right? To see someone with Real Madrid, obviously, and he was Ancelotti's good luck charm. So I think you have to give him the shout out for being on such a public scale, and then to now have Leandro go to Sevilla. You finally have players that are at these big clubs in Europe, especially in Spain, and then to see the Federation understanding, well, we have to kind of push ourselves a little bit to get out of our comfort zone. So the sponsorship deals are going higher. They're really, I would say, gathering resources, and they're paying the players better. That was a fight that obviously I was in. My hands are a little dirty in that one, but they're paying the players better. I think the quality's going up, but with that comes expectation, right? Now that you're investing, now you want to see some results, and I think the players with money and with pressure comes responsibility, right? Mm-hmm. There's a responsibility with that. Now we have to go out and do so. So I think that's all good, and ultimately, as we're going to touch on, I'll be curious to hear Claudia's perspective, but just again, I think that the island's taken a lot of steps, and we're slowly getting to this point where Gold Cup and World Cup qualifying are these things that are slowly becoming obtainable. But again, I think this is all. I think the pressure and the pride that Puerto Ricans have is something that's is only going to propel us further and further.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. How lit would it be if Puerto Rico ever qualified for a World Cup? Like, what would that be like on the island? Seriously.
That would be a huge party, I think.
Yeah. The images I have in my head of like I would have the biggest FOMO I've ever had in my life.
There's no question.
Seriously.
The Federation.
Suze, I don't think the world would be ready for that.
No.
I think ooh, the celebration.
Have you seen
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the reels where it's like it'd be Ian with the little hat on, the Bad Bunny hat, going into the bathroom at like 4 a.m. and having to take a little bit of a break? That'd be on day 3 of it.
Yeah, not with that rhythm you just had, though.
That's
more,
Pennsylvania touching me.
Incredible. Okay, so every time we do one of these 50 states of soccer conversations, we do a kind of deep dive. And one of the things that we discuss is we put together a 5-a-side based on like the best players to ever come from said state or territory in this case. So if we were building a 5-a-side, and this is not positional, like we're not worried about like we have to have a goalkeeper in there, like blah, blah, blah. But if we were putting together the top 5 players to ever come from Puerto Rico, who would you put on that list? And I'm going to start with Ricky because I feel like this is the man Who would know? Would you put yourself on it first of all? Because I feel like Zarek has basically said that you're the man. So
firstly, I would put Zarek. In the middle. That's me personally. That's my opinion. But that is the truth. Not because he's here only. But I would put him first, and Pito Ramos. I won't put me in, but Pito Ramos is the like
we're
another soccer
Ricky. Just
legend.
So you know, we're putting you in. Like when we
Thank you.
Yeah.
But score. Like literally, I don't see how it. I know you're like you're really being humble about this, but like numbers are numbers, dude. I'm not making them up.
But yeah, Pito Ramos is the second highest goal scorer. That's why I put him in.
Okay.
As a striker, I'm Zarek. I would put Jeremy and Leandro. And big, very underrated player, I think. I would put Jed Elias there. He has a lot of caps, midfielder, very good player. He was in Miami with me, just finished. But I think he's a very underrated player for the eyes of the public because Jeremy and Leandro, they're the big stars or whatever. And he does a lot of like the dirty work, the possession, the moving the ball, the everything. And I would put him too.
Love that. Claudia, do you want to weigh in here? Is there anyone, do you have like a player that you love that you'd like to include in
I
this
feel like he hit on
side?
all of them. I was obviously going to call out Jeremy, which actually I think I've got a Real Madrid sweatshirt on right now. You have to say Jeremy and Leandro. So Leandro, Sus, that was the other guy that I was speaking about when we did the show earlier this week.
Right.
So that was the other guy that's overseas. So no, I think Ricky, you hit it. That's the top 5 that I would put as well.
Done and dusted. That was easy. That was literally the easiest.
Let me. Can I do some honorable mentions? Honorable mentions? All right. Honorable mentions. We got. You want some names here? Jeremy Hall, honorable mention.
Wow.
Why? Wow, Ricky?
No, a good wow. A good wow.
Loaded wow.
That's a good wow. Like wow.
Loaded wow.
Jeremy Hall is an honorable mention. Like someone like a Josh Saunders. There's a name you haven't heard of it. I growing up, for example, someone that I know played Puerto Rico, Sean Barry was a name. Mm-hmm. He was from Florida, played overseas, played in Salt Lake. He was he was very, very good. And again, he most recently played for Salt Lake. And for me, Ricky's got to be on there again as someone who leads the federation in scoring. Someone who
that's a no
set records in Mayagüez for his goal scoring prowess. Went to college there. He was like the guy. And then for me, it's one thing. I didn't realize how much it meant to be Puerto Rican until I would sit there and I'd sing the national anthem with these guys. And then you're sitting there, and then you're like, holy shit, this is different. This is not just. This isn't, you know what I mean? This is a different animal. This is a different beast. So for me to have someone, again, to walk in on my first day and to see Ricky and Nico and some of these veterans that are now becoming the old guys. Now you're the old guy, not me.
I am the old guy now.
They got to be on there. But Leandro's going to be, we have some really good up and coming talent. Ian, you better take a look. I'm going to send you some clips of some of these guys because I think they can really go and help your team out. I'll tell you that.
I'm ready. I honestly, I'd sign you. You just keep going, man. I know your Achilles kind of let you down at the end, but
I got surgery, so I'm good to go. I move better.
Let's go. So Z, are you dropping yourself for Ricky?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think again for me, I'm so proud of the games I was able to play, but I mean all that Ricky's given to the national team, and also. It's really easy to leave when it wasn't going well, when you weren't having the good facilities, when you weren't getting results. It's really easy to jump ship, but to kind of be through that storm and to go out on the other side of it through a bunch of, again, the ups and the downs, through the hurricanes, through club moves, going from Spain to Omaha, like it's a no-brainer to me. So we won't play much defense apparently with this team because we got 5 attackers in there.
Just go forward.
It's gonna be a shootout.
We attack.
That's
my favorite brand of soccer.
It's not the island mentality anyway. I would put Noah Delgado on there as an honorable mention. He is showing my age right now. This was in the early 2000s, but he was a class player. Played with him in Rochester, and he represented the island very well. And class player.
Good shout.
This was ages ago, black and white.
Good job,
stuff.
Coach. What about one of the categories is like an urban legend player. So maybe a guy who never really, I don't know, made it on a big stage, but like people still kind of talk about. Is there a guy that kind of fits that description?
I think Zarek has someone in mind because I don't know.
Who is the Quintana guy?
Jackie?
No.
Wilfredo.
The announcer. No, the coach.
Pito?
Yeah.
Pito Gonzalez? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first one that came to mind.
Okay, tell me about this guy.
No, Ricky, please.
He's one of the presidents now for the Academia Quintana. He's a super funny guy. I don't know, very weird in his own way kind of guy. But I think he played soccer all his life. I don't know if he was in the national team, but what he's done for the Puerto Rican soccer has been huge. He has a club for an academy team, but it's a non-profit team, so that anyone that doesn't have the money to pay for a club that it's too expensive or whatever, they can go there, they can develop, and it's growing very big. It has one of the I think last 2 leagues for the pro league they won. It's like getting involved, and I think he's the one that, like, the mastermind. He's the one that has made all the moves for that growth, and he's like a big name in the Puerto Rico soccer.
Done
and done.
Love it.
Love that.
Check that box. Okay, what about hallowed grounds in Puerto Rico? What is like the sort of the field, the pitch that I don't know, it just is kind of synonymous with soccer in the country? Does it exist?
No, this is all you, Ricky. I mean, when you said hallowed grounds, my first thought went to Yunque, the rainforest, but I guess we went soccer pitch on this. I was like, okay, we're going to rainforest.
But field-wise?
Yeah, sadly, I was never fortunate enough to play in the national stadium. I only played in Mayagüez. So Mayagüez is on the west side of the island. That's where they hosted a bunch of games. But I was never fortunate enough to play in Lubriel, which is where the national team plays.
Yeah, Lubriel is for fan-wise, it's like the best stage because it's 14,000 people. It's a lot more than the Mayagüez Stadium. Field-wise, it is still a government stadium, so the funds are not maybe making it to where it has to go. The field is not in the best conditions.
But it's
when
electric.
we played Dominican, huh?
It's electric. When that place gets rocking.
Yeah, but that's what a hallowed ground is.
It's electric. It's hard to beat. It's a baseball-ish stadium, so it wraps around. And then whenever guys score on the fan side, they immediately run straight to the corner where it kind of wraps around. Do a little Lambo leap and stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's again, it's one of those you don't look back with regrets, but that's one of those things where I was like, man, that would have been cool because I missed I think like 3 or 4 of those games for a variety of different reasons, but for me that's the one that got away. That's the one that got away.
It's something else. I'm amazed you haven't played there, but it is unbelievable when the drums are getting going, and because it's got cover, you can hear it just radiate through the whole ground, and the people have such passion. I hurt my hamstring. I tore my hamstring there after 12 seconds.
Geez.
Yeah, there was a monsoon for a week before, and we were running in slop.
How slow were you running?
Listen, sprinting for me is your walk, so I went beyond my
Was it getting off the bench to go run to warm up?
Yeah, no, I honestly jogged across the pitch. Someone played me into the channel, and I turned to Adrian, who was the coach, and I'm like this, and he's like, this is impossible. You have
Susannah, think like Portland Timbers corner, right? Imagine like just kind of how it wraps around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Similar like baseball stadium feel, but really covered. So but it's awesome.
It is an awesome stadium.
Amazing. Claudia, have you been there?
I haven't gotten to watch. I was supposed to go to a national team game maybe last year, but it was right after TST. And the team that I was with for TST, we went all the way. This is the soccer tournament that happens down. I was with Nani's team
North Carolina?
last year.
Hell yes.
Yeah, and we went all the way to the finals.
Soccer Coachella.
That's right. We lost in the final, but of course we were all drinking, and my flight to Puerto Rico the next day was at like 6 a.m. So I canceled that shit real quick at like 2
Yeah,
a.m.,
girl.
3 a.m. So
Priorities.
I have yet to see the national team play. Hopefully soon, but no. So no, I haven't gone to go to a game in Puerto Rico either.
Well, if
But,
you need tickets, you can ask Ricky. We'll sort that out. We'll sort that
For
out.
sure.
Dude, this is just going to be a big party. Okay, one of the other categories is best soccer bar, but I feel like it's like the whole island like is kind of like would just be the best place to watch. But
I think
don't
there's
know.
a place now that is called Distrito T-Mobile, or in English T-Mobile District.
Yep.
It's like a couple of restaurants. There's a Medalla bar. The Medalla is like the beer in Puerto Rico, and they have like huge screens. And the latest games, they've been transmitting it there. Like the whole crowd goes there. They drink. They see the game. It's like I think that would be like the main focus.
Love
It's cool,
that.
Suze. It's fun, and there's randomly like a zip line above it, so you'll be like watching games and eating dinner, and then all of a sudden someone zip lines. But it's like a 2-second zip line ride. I've never done it. I don't understand it, but you know what? It's fun.
I feel
It's
like
fun.
that's in your future though. That
know
has
what?
Claudia Pagán written all over it.
It might have to be. I'll record it for you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, that's a social hit. Definitely. Okay, last category on this one is youth club. Ricky, and you had mentioned one that you played for. Which one was that?
San Juan FC.
Okay, so would you say that is sort of the premier youth club in Puerto Rico?
I wouldn't say that there's like a premier or a top because it's still in development. They are still in development. But I think San Juan Surf is one that has a big, I don't know how you say it, numbers of players. It's in Guaynabo. It's a town next from San Juan. I think those two are like the biggest in my perspective, but there are a lot of academy teams right now that are growing, and it's becoming very popular. So for me personally, San Juan, that's where I grew up. So
Love
for
it.
me, I would vote San Juan.
Love it.
Are you in San Juan now, or are you Miami still?
I'm in Louisiana.
Oh, that wasn't on my bingo card.
I was like, oh.
No, my girlfriend's finishing vet school here, so I'm here to visit.
Oh, that's right. I do remember. Now I know.
Good
Now
job.
that makes sense. Okay.
Good boyfriend. Good
Boy.
I think I'm coming up with like a plan now. I feel like kickback committee, Claudia, we should probably like try to like buy a club in Puerto Rico, don't you think? Like,
Suze, I am so down. I'll give you all my money. I'll give you all my money.
I feel like this would be a really wise and also incredibly fun investment. So I'm gonna speak to John Parker and get him on board. I don't think it's gonna be a tough sell. I feel like he'll be like,
Just talk to
all
Ricky.
in.
Ricky is he's the most well-connected person in a lot of these things.
In every aspect.
He's well-connected in the business world, but he's probably even more well-connected in the fun world. So if you guys want to go have some fun, my man, he'll take care of you guys.
we are the business of fun. That is what kickback committee is all about.
Work trips to
Obviously.
Puerto Rico. Like
Yeah,
we're good with expensing that.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
We're good. Zarek, I know you've got to bounce soon, but before we go, it's a really interesting little dynamic we have here right now because everybody here is like connected in some like kind of cool way, but you are an assistant coach at Minnesota United who just had an unbelievable series against the Seattle Sounders, by the way, which was like literally that game 3 was probably, that was an all-timer in MLS, like 100%. Just insane. But it has now set up a meeting in the conference semifinals with San Diego, and Claudia Pagán's husband, Luke, is basically the head of fitness at San Diego. So we've got like this like a little rivalry right here.
That's right. I'll be there.
Wow.
I'll be there. I'm going back in whenever it is, in 2 weeks, next
Yeah,
weekend.
we leave next Saturday. It's going to be, I mean, those games have been, it's just every game now is just, it's these
wild.
Things, war, battles. And they sold out, and it's going to be awesome. I mean, I wish it wasn't, I mean, it was a Monday. I wish it was kind of more I wish it was more of a spotlight games. I think it's going to be awesome. But regardless, the crowd's going to be there. It's going to be an absolute war between two teams that are very very firm in the way they play, which is great,
Yeah.
right? So it's not just going to be chaos. It's not going to be like some of these typical MLS games you have. You have two teams with very clear identities going to battle, and may the best team win.
May the best
It's
team
gonna be
win.
hard. Last time Minnesota came, we had San Diego had possession. I think the majority of the game, it looked like it was going good. You guys got 1 or 2 goals at the end, and boom, we lost it.
To be fair, and then
So-
you beat us here. So we've traded
Yeah.
away victories, and to be fair, San Diego has the possession pretty much every game they play. So that's not
Stop,
too.
I'm stressing. I'm
That's not
stressing.
too a surprise playing against us particularly.
Man, yeah, that's gonna be fun. I just wish I didn't have to wait 2 weeks for this. But you know,
That's how the teams feel, Suze. That's
This is-
exactly how they feel.
Yeah.
it's just me.
Brutal.
Here we are. One Knox is playing in the championship match this weekend.
There you go.
Yeah, so Ricky, you are a guy. You've won in USL Championship with Union Omaha. You know what it's like to play in these big games. You're a big game guy. So I was just chatting with Coach earlier today, and I was like, how do you kind of tell these guys, especially like for some of the guys who haven't played in a final, like how to kind of like temper the emotions a little bit so that it doesn't become bigger than what it is, so you can kind of focus at the task at hand. Like what advice would you give to some of the young One Knox players on Sunday heading into this final?
I think it's to have fun. These stages are why we play for. Like, that's why you've been working hard all this season to get to that moment. And as coach has done a good job, like first place, very, very, very tough team to beat. So I've been looking, obviously, but just have fun. Do what you've been doing because it's getting results. And at the end of the day, like they said with Zarek, may the best team win, and just enjoy it.
Well, thank you for that advice, Ricky. I appreciate it. Z, what do you got? How many cups have you won?
I won one in college and I lost one in MLS. I would say play to win. Don't play to lose. Go out and enjoy it, right? And I would say first off, one thing for me is during all these runs, what we're going on, San Diego, Omaha, and you guys, that's probably the last time that group will ever be together. It's a very unique group.
Yeah.
So enjoy it and play for the person next to you, because obviously their bond on the pitch goes deeper and it goes further than just there, right? So let's enjoy that. We lose together, we win together, and let's go fucking win together, all right? Let's do something special.
Yeah.
And let's turn this club, this first-year club, and let's be legends. Let's be instant legends. Let's go make that. So go play to win. Don't go play to lose. And I think if you have that mindset, I don't think there's much else you can do.
And that's why Zarek was the captain. And that there is why Zarek was the captain.
We're gonna run through a brick wall right now.
Ricky, future Puerto Rican manager, Zarek Valentin, come on, let's go with this.
Yes, for sure.
Maybe
you could
one day.
avoid-
We'll see.
If
we'll
you could
see.
avoid
I have a lot of.
Minnesota
I
talk
feel so lucky that God allowed me to play for that team with those guys and to share some moments in the Cayman Islands, good moments, beating Suriname, tough moments, losing to Martinique, and a lot of in between. But I would just say it made me even more. I have a Puerto Rican star tattooed on my arm, but just
Aw.
the culture and the people are something different. Everyone is obnoxiously proud, and they will tell you that, and it's awesome. So.
Amazing.
It's the first thing that people will say, like, "Oh, where are you from?" And they'll say, "I'm from Puerto Rico." They won't, it won't be, New York. It's just I'm from there. They bleed. Everyone's different. So I feel so fortunate that I've been able to spend time with Ricky, get to meet Claudia, and share so many experiences. And yeah, it's a special place. Hopefully, Susannah, you get to go. Ian, show around, and
If
Yeah.
you become the head coach, maybe you'll hire us.
Numbers around. You guys have a good time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
if you become the head coach, you can hire
Yeah,
us
I
as
feel
assistants.
like this is there's a coaching staff here.
Yeah, Ricky captain.
This group. I'm a really good general manager. I don't know,
Perfect.
like I'm basically Ian's GM.
this is true.
So
Exactly.
I feel like we could do great things together. This whole crew. It's a lot of good things happening right now. Guys, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I loved hearing about Puerto Rico. I loved hearing about all of your experiences. I cannot wait to go and actually spend time there. It's going to be fantastic. But for everybody listening, watching, make sure that you check out all the latest episodes of Kickback Committee and Soccer Wise. You can subscribe to both of our newsletters. And yeah, enjoy all the soccer this weekend. Good luck, Zarek, in 2 weeks. Good luck. My love.
Good luck,
this
Z.
weekend. Let's go win next. Ricky, we can't wait to see what's next for you,
can't
my
wait till
friend.
you guys
And Claudia,
win.
get home safe.
And I called the coach to FaceTime the coach to say congratulations, and I get just
The red button.
I won't let it happen, Z.
my son says red X.
Thanks so much, guys.
Love you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Good times.
Bye.